Okay guys, decided to start putting together a group of videos for like a new idea that I've just sort of come up with. Something I used to do ages ago for a like a school newspaper. Well, I say school newspaper, it wasn't exactly a school, but it's computer game reviews or video game reviews, depending on how you reference games. I mean, if it's on a computer, it's obviously a computer game. But if it's on an Xbox or something, it's obviously a video game, isn't it? Really. Whereas Americans, they call every sort of game a video game, so, well, I don't know. And these videos are probably going to be quite short, and just outlining what I like about the games, what I don't like about the games, whether I think you should buy them, rating the music and everything, quality, and then give it an overall rating out of 5. And yeah, because I was going to do it out of 10, but I thought, nah, a bit too pointless, a bit too obvious, and it was out of 10. Well, so yeah, I don't know how long these videos are going to be, and depending on the size, I'll probably splice a couple together. Well, the first game I thought of is Metroid Prime. Oh yeah, very old game, very old game, from Nintendo GameCube. Now, when I eventually completed Metroid Prime, and I managed to get the 99% thing, and you managed to get to see her take off her helmet, and you see her face in the video, I thought, I've completed it now, where do I go from here? There's not really anything else you can do except start the whole game again. There's no a free play factor or multiplayer element or anything, which they did add in for Metroid Prime 2. There's a multiplayer, and I think it's a cooperative you can have on there, I think. So they really added something else into the next game. But butter. Now, what am I talking about butter for? So that's an old joke I reference all the time in my videos. Yes, but overall gaming, the GameCube hasn't really got good controls, as I say, but you've got your C stick and everything for looking around. The controls are a little fiddly, it's hard to strafe left and right and stuff, unless you're locked onto an enemy, or unless you press something else, and you can't look up and down without pressing something else first. It's a bit fiddly. It probably should have been ported onto a PC, or it probably has done, and I haven't noticed. But there we go again with the butter. But overall, it's a good game. It's got some unique weapons, some pretty unique weapons. Back in that massive flamethrowers and ice blasters and busters. Sorry, they've got the grapple cannon. And just the whole character of Samus Aran and the whole backstory of how she became this bounty hunter. They really sort of emphasise where she came from. And I like to have a character in a game of this kind, in a story, where you know where they've come from. Not just, you're this character, you've got to fight through this and that and this. It's like, yeah, but who is this person? Where are they from? Who are their parents? Why are they even here? But Metroid gives you that whole thing, her parents were killed and something else happened, and she found Chozo, who gave this weird suit and everything, and all the weapon upgrades on her arm and everything, which used to be one of these soldier type people or something. I forget the story, but it's a pretty good in-depth story of her backstory. The game starts with it telling you how she gets to the place that you're going to be first fighting on before you end up on the planet, because you're on the space station. So it sort of tells you how she gets there before she even lands. She lands and jumps off. Gives you a brief tutorial of how to do shit, and like it should. And quite a few games are like that actually. And but the unique element of it being a woman is the brilliant thing, because normally all first-person shooter games, the main character's a man. I mean, Deus Ex and Invisible War can be a man or a woman, depending on what you pick. But yeah, it's also a man then, isn't it? Because most people that you'd associate with guns would be men, wouldn't they? You know, soldiers, policemen, police officers now, sorry, can't be sexist. And it gives you like the opposite sex's view. Like, it doesn't give her any like particular weakness or anything. She doesn't have to stop fighting every month because she's on a period or anything. Which I think would actually be quite funny, wouldn't it? That would actually make her more of a fighter, wouldn't it? You know, she's like, oh, fuck's sake, I'm a period. She'd be like Ripley and fucking Aliens. Anyway. And that's basically the same sort of character, isn't it? Because you know, Ripley started off as a normal everyday person, but ended up having to fight these aliens and stuff. And kept being thrown into all these different scenarios. And Samus Aran of Metroid is basically the same situation. Her parents were killed, I think. So yeah, so that's going to piss you off. It's going to put you against space pirates or whatever aliens they are. And I mean, these space pirates just look fucking weird. But, you know, the whole element of all these different enemies and that, you know, and the weird little crawly ones, and the ones that spring up out of the ground, and fly up on the ceiling, and there's some little annoying ones that just go round in circles when you're trying to jump from ledge to ledge. That's all unique to that game. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen games with like little bats and shit on them, but they never attack you or anything. So we're just like adding in them extra things, and obviously got like your mega boss battles like they have in Star Fox and everything like that. But yeah, but it's a pretty unique game really. I mean, I don't think anyone else could have come up with those sort of enemies. A giant plant. Fucking what was that big one at the end? Like a weird. You had that fucking rock dude that sort of rolls into a ball and rolls around. He stands there chucking rocks at you. So you'd never see that outside of something like Star Trek, really, would you? So yeah, let's get into the old rating situation then. Don't know how I'm going to do this. Gameplay. Well, let's. I don't know what gameplay actually means. So basically, how well I can put you on how easy it is. Even on the easy setting, it's quite difficult. I'm not saying I'm crap at it, but I am. So I found it quite difficult until I really got into it. You know, got halfway through it, I thought, yeah, well, this is easy. Then met the big boss at the end and went, fucking hell! Fucking wasting all my missiles on the fucking. I watched online videos of it, but you know, so the graphics has definitely got to be 4 out of 5. I mean, certain bits are a bit too dark and you can't quite see stuff. But you know, you've got the switch in vision, so that gives it an extra point. That's what pushed it up. So that's sort of between 4 and 5, really. Sound and music. Well, the soundtrack to the game is just the bomb, really. I mean, when you get into the space pirate battle, and it starts playing all that heavy, like, electric music, you know. Then you've got the Magma Caverns, like, thumping bass mix, and yeah, it's actually quite good. So, yeah. So I think for music, that pushes it up into 4 already. I mean, sound effects and stuff, you know, that you'd expect zooms and stuff, you know, lasers and shit. But, no, that was actually well done as well, you know. All the little creature sounds and everything, and sound effects of things. I don't know if you have footsteps or not. Yeah. The sound of her jumping and everything that was orbiting in. And if you stand still for too long and you can actually hear her breathing, that's a weird thing. So yeah, that definitely pushes it up to 5. I think 5 out of 5 for the sounds and music. You can tell I quite like this game. Replayability, now that's going to get the lowest rating. That's 2. I would say 1, but no, that's alright, you can play through it a couple of times. You know, because you've got to get that 99%, haven't you, really. If you don't get that 99% mark, you never get to see like the proper ending to the game, where she takes the helmet off, and you can actually see her stood there. And really, if you're going to play a game where you're going to get to see the main character at the end, you're really going to want to see the character, aren't you? So, Yeah, 50 million fucking MSN things just popped up in the middle of this video. That's going to be hilariously loud. Fuck me, I think I've hit 10 minutes already. Jesus. 6:15 on the counter. 6:15, that's... See, that was 10 minutes 15. Oh, crap. Well, I'll stop it at 10:30. Possibly. Well, my overall rating of the game is 4 out of 5, basically. You know, the only thing that I would that score from a 5 was the replayability, which is a 2. Because you cannot play it that many times without getting bored. So, yeah. So, we'll see you next time for another game review.